siblings took care of her. When they could not do it anymore, they sent her off to her paternal aunt. Her paternal aunt was so loving. She poured into her the best way she could, the best way she knew how. And at the age of 12, as she began to grow older, stuff started happening. The abuse started happening. The sexual abuse, the violence started happening. And do you know that children are cruel, right? So this young girl would see her cousins with their mothers and their fathers. And she would just hope and pray and hope and pray. And her prayer was always, God, please send me a mother to call my own. Please allow me a home where I can be safe and not abused. And please, please, I want to graduate from high school, the little girl would say. But here was the issue. At the age of 15, the little girl, as she grew up, never, ever, she didn't drop out of school. She dropped in every now and then, and she didn't learn. So at 15, she could not read. Reading was a struggle for her. The thing that was the game for her was getting high. Getting high was always a way. Playing with people's mind was always a way, because you see, the streets taught her. She didn't have that parent, consistent parent to hold on to. And so as she prayed, God, please, please, she also knew that that thing was never going to come to pass. And God, in their infinite wisdom, is amazing. Because lo and behold, with all of the people running in and out of her aunt's house, God sent this amazing woman next door. And the amazing woman who came next door said to the little girl, hey, you can be. Hey, I would like to mentor you. See, the little girl didn't know anything about being mentored. What she did know about was getting high. What she did know about was sexing. What she did know about was playing mind games. So is that those cruel people that would knock on the ground and say, hey, Margaret, are you down there? Your husband is up here pissy drunk. He's about to knock over the Christmas tree again. The little girl looked at those folk and would laugh. But do you know there was nothing funny? She was broken and she was hurting. And this woman who came next door to her aunt to show up, she literally began to mentor this child. And as she mentored this child, and she read to her books that she's never heard before. Well, you see, the little girl would pick up books. She loved going to the library. She loved to open up the book. But she didn't open up the book to read it because she couldn't. What she was able to read at 15 was see, spot, run. But what happened was, when she would pick up that book, she would smell it. And she would fantasize about one day being able to take in all those words and be able to give that back to people. And as this woman worked with this little girl and worked with this little girl went to high school. She was excited. She still couldn't read. She was learning, she was struggling, but she was doing it. And then she graduated. She was so excited. She graduated from high school. And she said, I want to go to college. She struggled through her undergrad called SHRAP. Who names a program SHRAP? But she went through it and she made it through. Oh, and by the way, she became the valedictorian of her high school class. She went to college. She made it through her undergrad. That wasn't supposed to happen, y'all. Not only did she make it through her undergrad, she then went on to get her master's. And as she got her master's, she said, I can do this. Her mother said, you are amazing. Because by this time, this woman decided to adopt her. Because she saw something greater in the child than the child ever could see in herself. And so she went on and she got that bachelor's and she was excited. And she got that master's and she was excited. And she looked at her mother and she said, Mom, I want to be like you. I am smart enough. Thank you for seeing me. She got that PhD. And today I stand before you greater than I could ever. Because I am who I am because of the Most High and because my mother saw me. And so I wanted to share that story with you today.
Are so selfish, brat, lazy, you're bad, you're lazy. Calamity Jane, you're not going to marry the first girl you meet. Don't do that. You want me? Okay, so what they say to themselves, I'm bad, I'm not good enough, I'm stupid, I have no voice, I am no good, I can't do this, I am no good, nobody likes me, I'm clumsy, I'm not good enough.
And so we're not going to leave her there because you see, when she came to the planet, she came in pure. She came in love. She came in with respect and dignity and honor and purpose. And as adults, we jacked her up. And so now we are going to work on ways to fix her. So those positive words that you have, we're just going to take the whole her. All of her wholeness, her brokenness, everything about who she is. See her. Any other?
Feel her.
Feel her. Yes, yes. Others.
Hug her.
Hug her. Touch is important. Touch is real important.
Listen.
Listen to her.
You are a child of God. You are sacred.
You are sacred. You're a child of God. Yes, yes. Absolutely. And so the work.
However, he feels that the light and the sacredness of life.
Have her feel the sacredness of life. Okay, right, right. And so this is the work that we do when we go in to restore the brokenness that's in that system. And so I ask you, if we can say this out loud for those of us who are doing the work, and this is what I say to them when I go out to talk to people who are actually inside the system, who are one shake away from being there, I ask them, and I say to them all of those things that you're saying. See her, hug her, love her, know her, feel her, like all of those things. Allow her to know the divine. Allow her to get to know herself. And so, yes. And so, and burn them. Those spaces, and I'm talking to these sisters, I'm not talking to her from a book. I'm not saying, oh, you got that degree, you're a doctor, and therefore, no. I am talking from began to imprint on me. So I then had the obligation to go into captivity and shift the minds, bodies, and spirits of those sisters who are in there. So I imprint those type of words on her to let her know that she's worthy. And that's what I want to call her. A friend of mine was going to get her dissertation. Going to get her doctorate. And we had the opportunity to go to her defense. And when we were there, what happened was she began to talk about her study. And she talked about persons who were in the criminal justice system. Now, this woman is an African-American woman. And so she's talking about all of these people who were in the system, and then come to find out the people that she talked about were men. And so I asked her, excuse me, the good thing was we were able to participate in that defense process. And so I asked her, so here's the question. Why weren't there any women? Why didn't you study women? And her response was, a couple came, but they didn't stay. And so, of course, I had a follow-up question, right? And so my follow-up question was, why didn't they? So what was it about your study that didn't allow her to feel connected, wanted, a part of? Like, what was it about the study? Literally, it was like God dropped this thing on my spirit, and I was like, I have to do something. I don't know what the something is, but I began to do research. And I researched and researched and researched, and it was in 2010. And as a result of what I found, by 2011, I incorporated with a business partner, I'm Free. And again, females re-entering, empowering each other. And so, saying there's more men in the system than there are women. That was correct. However, if you look at the data and the time, what was happening was they were snatching black and brown women bodies off of the street and putting them into captivity at a higher rate than anyone else. The shift came in about 2018, I think it was, no, 2015, when they changed the drug disparity laws. And as a result of changing the drug disparity laws, what happened was, you know, if you and I were on the street and you look white, and we were doing weed together, and we got caught, as a white person, you would actually get charged with, like, drinking the beer. I would get the harsher crime. Hey, by the way, do y'all know these dispensaries now are making big dollars when we have brothers and sisters in captivity for selling an ounce of weed? But now you can walk into the store and buy whatever you want. Let my brothers and sisters free.
Yes.
Yes.
Release them.
Go.
Yes.
You're making trillions of dollars on this 3-strike thing, being put into captivity. And the shift came when white women started to use crack cocaine. And see, so again, I can have crack and you could have cocaine. It's the same drug. It's the way in which you hook it up, the way in which you smoke it or snort it. It's the same drug, but I get more time because of crack. So that was one thing that happened with the law. They shifted it, and then guess what happened? The sisters that entered that space, while the numbers of black and brown women decreased, more and more white women fit that system. So by the time I stopped going to the jail in 2019 during COVID, because they wouldn't allow anyone in, there were more white women in that system than black and brown women. And it wasn't because they were doing anything harsh. It was because they were using. So why is it that we put our people in captivity instead of giving her the services she needs, right? And so as a result, you have all of these people who are incarcerated, especially women, because they hurt themselves. I got to I'm Free, how I got to begin to do this work. And I had siblings who were also in that system. And I had cousins who were in that system. And as a youth, I was one step away from that system. So I knew that I had to go in, right, and I had to go in and try to heal the minds and bodies of the sisters that were in captivity. Trauma-informed questions that we ask, and I'm going to ask you to answer these questions. The first question is, and if you can pair up with somebody at your table, or if it's 3, that's fine, at your table. 4 questions. The first one is, who are you? And you're going to write them all down before you start talking. The first one is, who are you? The second is, how are you feeling? We're just writing down the 4 questions. Yes, in this moment. That's fine. We're writing down the 4 questions, then you're going to share this with your partner. And then the third one is, what's your goal or goals? What are your goals or goals? Yes, purposely. When you are in, sometimes they can't figure it out. And so we have to help them with that. And the last one is exactly that. Number 4, who can you ask for help? Who are you? Number 2, how are you feeling? Number 3, what's your goal or goals for today? And number 4, who can you ask for help? You heard this the poem Deepest Fear. It is by Williamson, Marianne Williamson. And so if you don't mind, what I do is I actually have them read a stanza. And after they read it, we then talk about it. And so stanza is, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. And so I would then ask them, what does that mean to you? Now, keeping in mind they're incarcerated, right? So when I ask a sister who's in captivity about her deepest fear is to be powerful beyond measure, what do you think some of the responses are?
I'm not powerful.
She can't see it. She can't see it. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. And then, so of course I would ask that. So what does that mean about playing small? And so sometimes what happens is some of the sisters who are in captivity are there because of their men. They took the fall for their man. And so because she didn't have a record, they get caught with a gun or they get caught with drugs, and the deal is, oh, you take it, because if I get it, I'm gonna get time. Today they're not playing with these women. And so your first offense for a gun, just seeing the gun there, not knowing what kind of bodies are on that gun, the drugs, and all, they give you time. They're not playing with them. And enlightening about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. Do you know who you are? 2, how do you view yourself? Is there anything you are nervous about? And last, what are 2 things you are concerned about as you return home? Why do you go into that place? Are you afraid? Can I go there for a second, y'all? Now, I'm scared of what you do to her. And so one day I walk in, and the other thing they say to me before I go there, and I was doing work on, they call it the shoe. You walk into prison and you get locked in. And then you go on the unit and you get locked in. Well, inside the unit, there's another unit that you go in. And so I was doing work on the inside of the inside. And I was locked in a room with these women. And before I got locked in, before I could even get there, one of the sisters that I'd been working with for about 2 years before, so she was in jail, and you can stay there for about 2-3 years. And after that, and sometimes it takes that long to get sentenced. And then after that, you go to prison, where you're gonna spend 5+ years. And so I walk in, and they have her shackled around her ankles. There's chains around her waist that's attached to chains on her hand. And so I walk in, and they had just finished shackling. So this is how you shackle the feet. You put your foot up. And so they had just finished doing that. And she sees me and she goes, Dr. Renea, I'm free. She said, yes. She said, I'm free. And then she goes, I am an amazing woman. I am strong. So she starts to run down the 4 questions that I asked. And the CO turns around and he says, you ain't shh. You'll never be. And he breaks her down right in front of me. And I looked at her and I said, you are, and I am. And because I am, you will be. I love you, and you can love yourself. And thank you for doing the work, and thank you for saying this. Can I tell you, 5-6 years later, she's released from captivity, and she reaches out. Elders, she reaches out. Not only does she reach out, but she works for me for 2 years. No problem. And so when they ask, does it work? It works if they work it. Right. It works if they believe, and you can continue to believe in her when she can't believe in herself and pour into her. It works. So what I'm going to ask you is, the next time you see the broken soul, help to be that clay maker and help to put her back together. Step by step. Is it going to be easy? No. It took her years to get to where she is. It's going to take years for her to make that shift. It's going to take years for people to pour into her to let her know that she's worthy. I am evident of that thing. I am a recipient of that love. I am a recipient of the transformation. I am, because the great I am chose me to go into the sperma of my father, to hit the egg of my mother, out of all of the millions that was racing to get that egg. I got it. I got it.